heightened state of emergency, government enforces tighter restrictions to contain the spread of the coronavirus as the number of confirmed cases on island climbed to 9 over the weekend. Hello and welcome to the studios of the Government Information Service. I am Jesse Leonce, and sitting in with me, I'm joined by Mr. Primus Hutchinson. Good morning, Primus.
Hi, morning, Jesse. Nice to have you here.
Thank you very much. The GIS continues its coverage of St. Lucia's COVID-19 experience with news of the island's extended scale down, its extended curfew, and zero tolerance for any infringement of orders under the Emergency Powers Act. Also, we have news this morning on the complete transition from Victoria to the Owen King EU Hospital. We have those stories coming up in the broadcast, but first we welcome in studio Cuban Ambassador to St. Lucia, His Excellency Alejandro Simancas Marin. Good day, Ambassador. Thank you for being here with us.
Good morning.
Good morning. St. Lucia being one of the most recent benefactors of Cuba's global export of medical professionals amid this pandemic, this coronavirus pandemic. Before we begin, Ambassador, we will first give our viewers a look at the Cuban medical team's arrival to St. Lucia on Friday. Fernell Neptune reports.
A team of 113 Cuban medical professionals arrived in St. Lucia recently to support the island's national response efforts for COVID-19. The team comprised of 100 nurses, 6 general practitioners, 4 intensive care physicians, and 2 epidemiologists. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Sharon Belma George commended the government and people of the Republic of Cuba for their commitment to provide assistance in healthcare to aid in the battle against COVID-19.
The Department of Health and Wellness has been monitoring closely the escalation in the classification of the outbreaks and in collaboration with all stakeholders has strengthened systems to reduce the possible impact on our population. One important gap that we recognized was that of human resource capacity in relation to healthcare workers to support the expected increases within the community respiratory clinics and the respiratory hospital. This led to us reaching out to the Cuban government for support in this regard.
Minister for Health and Wellness, Senator the Honorable Mary Isaac, lauded the solidarity of the Cuban government and said she's extremely grateful for the immediate assistance to help St. Lucia fight COVID-19.
It is with a lot of excitement and emotion that I look at you here today. And I know the effort, I know the work, I know the solidarity that has gone into you being who you are today, and you coming here to help us in St. Lucia. I am just so thankful and so grateful, and I thank God for your presence here today because we really need you. We need your assistance, and just the way that you present yourself, it is so professional. I can see that you are here to help us.
Ambassador of the Republic of Cuba to St. Lucia, His Excellency Alejandro Simancas Marin, emphasized on the strong ties of friendship between St. Lucia and Cuba and encouraged the medical professionals to accomplish the mission diligently.
Today we are proud and honored to receive this group made of doctors, nurses, biomedical engineers. They have come from different provinces of Cuba. As you can see, they belong to different generations. Some of them have more experience, some of them less. Most of them are women, which is good. But all of them, they have in common the commitment to work together with the government and the people of the sister island of St. Lucia in the fight against the coronavirus pandemic. The discipline, determination, and organization that each of these health professionals showed, the speed and the complete disposition in which they responded to this call, they made it possible for them to arrive in St. Lucia in such a short period of time.
The Cuban medical professionals are currently undergoing quarantine for 14 days before commencement of duties. Reporting from the Communications Unit of the Ministry of Health and Wellness, I am Fernell Neptune.
Thank you, Fernell, for that. report, for that update from Friday, the Cuban medical team arriving in St. Lucia on Friday. If you're just joining the broadcast, we have in studio Cuban Ambassador to St. Lucia, His Excellency Alejandro Simancas Marin. Ambassador, first of all, how have you been doing amid this coronavirus pandemic?
Very well.
Good.
But accomplishing all the measures taken by the government in order to keep safe we and the St. Lucian people,
Absolutely.
the people in our surrounding.
Absolutely. How have the 113 medical professionals been settling in so far? I understand they are at the Sandals Regency.
Very well. They arrive very well. A little tired because of the change in the last days or the stress, but they are very well. And they are already accommodated, so they are just waiting to start working.
Okay. When do they begin to start working, and where will they be stationed?
They have to be put inside the St. Lucia health system. So it's according to the Ministry of Health,
Okay.
in order to accomplish some steps, some necessary steps that I know that they are working very quickly on that in order to make it as soon as possible. But they are here to work, and they are ready for that.
Okay. Can you walk us through what it took to get the 113 strong medical brigade here in St. Lucia? What is the process for getting medical professionals from Cuba to dispatch to another country?
So when we received the request from the St. Lucian government, very quickly we contacted the Cuban authorities, the Cuban government, the Cuban Ministry of Health, and it was a request from a sister country. St. Lucia is not only a friend. St. Lucia is a historical sister country to Cuba. We are brothers, and we cannot put aside that request. So they started to work very quickly. You have to take into consideration that right now we are not in a normal scenario. We are in an extraordinary scenario. Cuba, St. Lucia, and all the world because of the coronavirus. And in Cuba, of course, we are also fighting against the coronavirus. So at this time, particularly, it was even more difficult. But it was an emergency in order to organize everything very quickly. So they select according to the request of St. Lucia, they select different specialists from different parts of Cuba, evaluating at the same time the local possibilities of the Cuban health system. That's why all of them, the Cuban medical brigade that arrived, all of them are from different Cuban provinces.
Okay.
Most of them are women, which is good. Most of them, according to the request of St. Lucia, are nurses, different kind of nurses. I mean, general nurses, intensivist nurses specializes in some particular areas like neonatology, different kind of them. Doctors also in different fields, and 2 biomedical engineers, which is very important in order to keep functioning all the health centers. But the selection, the preparation, the organization, of course, is made first in their voluntary disposition to go abroad, in this case to go to St. Lucia, in the selection in different provinces according to the request of St. Lucia. And I have to say that all of them, very quickly, absolutely very quickly, they respond absolutely positive. They were taken from different Cuban provinces. They were concentrated in Havana. During that time, more than 2 weeks, or about 2 weeks, 10 days, they were in a medical checkup. They were in a preparation, particularly regarding the fighting the coronavirus. Some of them were also in a training of English language. Some of them have more experience than others in terms of their age, their participation in other medical brigades. Some of them are younger. But the preparation was very complete, but at this time, very speed up in a short period of time, because it was an emergency.
Understood.
So, from the moment St. Lucia request the brigade to the moment they arrive, it was just 10 days. So it was an emergency process in order to respond very quickly to the demand of the sister St. Lucia.
Okay. Can you provide a time frame? Is there a definite period for their time of service here in St. Lucia?
It will depend on the necessity of St. Lucia, of course. It will depend on the development of this pandemic, the coronavirus, and it will depend on the necessity of the St. Lucian health system, the necessity of the government, the Ministry of Health.
Okay. We know of the willingness of the Cuban citizenry to assist those in need. Going further, it has been dubbed the wonder drug. In this pandemic, the interferon alpha 2B, sorry. Cuba's antiviral medication has been successful in treating COVID infections. Can you speak and can you tell us more about this drug and the overall significance of Cuba's pharmaceutical industry?
First, I would like to say that the necessity has, in some way, the necessity, of course, has obliged us to develop a local and very strong pharmaceutical and biotechnological industry, because for 60 years of the United States blockade, that has put a block in order to import a lot of different kind of medical equipment, pharmaceutical products. We have been obliged to develop in Cuba, and at the same time, because of the educational facilities of the Cuban system, we could create a very big pharmaceutical industry. So that now in Cuba, the Cuban health system consumes about 70% of the medicaments that the system consumes are produced in Cuba. And interferon is a product that was developed during the 80s, at the beginning of the 80s.
Okay.
Is a product which is in the group of the so-called antiretrovirals.
Okay.
Maybe in English that is correct.
Antiretroviral.
Exactly. So is a Cuban antiretroviral. I am not a specialist, but according to what I know, the characteristic of this antiretroviral are very useful because are taken from some clean organic sources.
Okay.
So it's very useful, effective. It has been used very effectively in Cuba and many parts of the world against some kind of cancer, AIDS, hepatitis. And when the coronavirus started in China 2-3 months ago, the Chinese doctors started to apply it. And the results has been very effectively. Also in China, in some European countries has been applied. In Cuba, we are starting to apply it to the coronavirus patient because this is something,
it's successful.
A new phenomenon, the coronavirus. But it has been very effectively. I can communicate now that we are working together with the OECS in order to take an important amount of interferon to the Eastern Caribbean countries, including St. Lucia,
I was
of
going
course.
to ask.
So we are working on that. And as an antiretroviral is a product that increases very effectively the immunological system of the human being. So prepare more the human beings, the person, in order to fight, to resist the coronavirus.
What is Cuba's scope of work worldwide in helping coronavirus hit nations like St. Lucia? How many Cuban medical professionals are currently afield on COVID-19 missions?
You mean the coronavirus?
Yes, worldwide.
Right now, after this coronavirus scenario started, about 14 Cuban different medical brigades has gone to different parts of the world. Some Italy, some Latin American countries like Venezuela, Nicaragua, some Caribbean countries, of course, and Lucia, some other countries. Totally, there are 14. This is a moment of emergency. This is a moment of need from many countries, many people who are in difficult situations. And this is the moment to help them. This is the moment to assist them. This is the moment to not to think in any political barriers, in any. It is a moment to put aside all the hatred, all the obstacles, and to help the people, just to help the people. And this is the possibility that Cuba have. We have the experience in managing the human resources. We have the position of solidarity, the friendship, the cooperation, which is a very important part of the Cuban foreign policy, a very important part of the values of our revolution. So this is the way we can contribute to those people who really need right now an assistance. So right now, according to the last information, 14 different Cuban medical group has been going abroad, including St. Lucia.
Okay. Earlier this month, the Cuban government offered haven to a stranded cruise ship. That was the MS Braemar. The ship had 5 confirmed cases of coronavirus, and other islands in the region did not want to accept them. Can you speak on this incident and perhaps give us an update?
I think everything is coming from the same point. I mean, it's a moment to show the solidarity, and this is an important value, I repeat, of our society, of our system. There was that situation with that cruise, a very important number of people affected, and the cruise was rejected from other countries. The British government asked for help, and we decided, of course, to assist. We organized everything together with the British government to receive the cruise in Cuba, to transfer them from the cruise to the airport, and to take them to Britain.
Okay.
All the measures were taken in Cuba very, very strictly in order to keep safe all the Cuban personnel which work in that operation, because it was an operation. And for example, just for you to have an idea, there were a very important big group of Cuban different kind of specialists who work in that operation. All of them were protected. And after that operation, which was successful, after that they were all getting to quarantine. Okay. Because of course it was a risky operation, but absolutely all the necessary measures were taken.
Okay.
Mr. Ambassador, Your Excellency, notwithstanding the unrelenting and excessive economic pressure from global forces, Cuba has been able to exercise amazingly resilience and continues to be extremely supportive of CARICOM, particularly in the medical field. Why is Cuba still so enthusiastically supportive of the Caribbean region?
The Caribbean region is our family. It's a priority for Cuba. We consider the Caribbean region our brothers. St. Lucia is our sister nation. This is the conception, the vision that was formed in our, not only the foreign policy, because it goes beyond that, it goes in the values that are in the Cuban Revolution, but we have to say that it was the Fidel's idea, the leader of the historical leader of the Cuban Revolution. And it has been the ideas of friendship, brotherhood that was in which our relationship with the Caribbean were formed. That's why the relationship has been historical one. We have been always trying to assist the Caribbean, the Eastern Caribbean country. For many, many years, our relationship with CARICOM is excellent, it's a priority. And always we will have to go to the base of this vision from Cuba regarding the Caribbean, the vision of friendship, solidarity, cooperation that are on the base of our bilateral, of our relationship with the Caribbean. This is the most important.
Okay, allow me to change gear a little bit, if you would pardon the metaphor. Bilateral collaboration existed between St. Lucia and Cuba since the 1960s, 70s, and so on. A number of Cuban scientists worked at the now defunct Windward Islands Banana Research Center, WINBAN, located in a community called Rosa Valley, the center of banana production. And it still is, to a certain extent, to a lesser extent now. Now that banana production is facing stiff economic challenges and otherwise, would Cuba be interested in the reestablishment of a research laboratory similar to a WINBAN? If ever there is a call for this by the authorities, would you be willing to assist in that regard?
You're very right about that, assistance. I have been taught a lot about that, but we are always ready to the full collaboration with St. Lucia. Right now we have a very strong relationship. We have collaboration not only in the field of health, we also have a very important collaboration in the field of construction, sports, in the field of culture. So in the field of the management, disaster management, the sustainable development. So we are absolutely ready to a full cooperation with St. Lucia in all the possible fields, according to our humble possibilities, and of course according to the needs of St. Lucia. But you are right, the collaboration, the friendship goes even beyond the moment St. Lucia got the independence. It's coming from the 60s. More than 700 St. Lucians has been graduated in Cuba. Most of them 570 something, most of them doctors. A lot of different thousands of Cuban doctors has been working already here in St. Lucia. According to the Miracle program, more than 3,000 St. Lucians were operated in Cuba of problem with their eyes. And after that, as a consequence of a miracle operation, we together jointly created the ophthalmological center, which has been working till now, till these days in the Victoria Hospital. So we have a historical, I would say, very beauty relationship that we have to, in my opinion, we have to take care of it. We have to protect, because we have the debt in coming from the previous generation and in the front of the new generations to reinforce that bilateral relationship.
Has there ever been a reunion? I'm not sure if there's ever been, of bringing together all of the students who've benefited from Cuba, I mean, in many fields. If there has not been one, would it be a good idea to sort of establish a reunion, sort of?
We do. We usually do. We have very good relationship with some of them. There are many, not all. We would like to be with all, but there are many. But here in St. Lucia exists an association of graduated in Cuba, a guild. They are active. In time to time they gather. We, as an embassy, we have good relationship with them, and they are part of the Humanistic Solidarity Association.
I was about coming to that question. The association, which has been established between St. Lucia and Cuba, how is that working out? You know, I mean, it is in the past strengthened ties between the two countries. How is this association working?
They really represent that clean friendship, that love between the the St. Lucian and the Cuban people, because they are very actively, they do a lot of things without any interest, personal interest. I have to say that the association is composed by wonderful people, particularly in the north of the St. Lucia, in the south, in Beaufort. Wonderful people, very active. And particularly the president, Marlene Alexander, which is an incredible person, really a real representation of the energy and at the same time the passion of the St. Lucian woman.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Yes, Jesse.
I just want to ask a quick question before we take our first break. Healthcare systems around the world are strained and some to the point of collapse even because of this coronavirus. The U.S. State Department, however, is discouraging countries from accepting this help. Can you comment on this? Can you tell us about your government's response to this?
You know, unfortunately for 60 years, the relationship, the vision from the United States regarding Cuba has been a vision of hegemony, dominancy, and based on political interest on Cuba. We can mention all the history in 60 years, but it's better to mention the reality. Always they have tried to find a pretext in order to attack Cuba. They have been trying a pretext to condemn Cuba, to question Cuba. And in the last years, they have been creating such an argument like that. Of course, we reject completely. This is absolutely a political lie. The United States government has proved alongside 60 years that they have been using very frequently the lie as a political instrument, and this is another example of that. The collaboration, the medical collaboration of Cuba with St. Lucia and with the rest of the world have been recognized by the United Nations, by UNESCO. It's an example of the South-South collaboration of the world. The Cuban doctors, the Cuban specialists that go abroad, like the ones who came to St. Lucia, are coming here absolutely based on their personal disposition, on their voluntary decision, and because of their formation of these values of solidarity and friendship. They are educated, they are formed in the value that they are doctors, they are health specialists, and they need to go where where is a necessity to assist a person, no matter if it is 1 million people or one person, but there where is a person that needs a health attention. This is a human being. This is a person to be that has a necessity, a person to be safe. This is a life that should be safe. So these are the values in which the Cuban specialists are formed. So this campaign coming from the United States is another political lie, another political campaign trying to find a pretext to keep and to justify the economical, financial, and commercial blockade against Cuba. And it's based now and for 60 years on a policy of hegemony, dominance, which pursue the only one interest to put in Cuba a political power that will respond to the United States interests. This is the only one reason.
Cuban Ambassador to St. Lucia, His Excellency Alejandro Simancas Marin, thank you so much for sitting in and having a word with us. The COVID response, Government Information Studios. We are due for our first break. Thank you once again.
If you allow me just 10 seconds.
No problem.
But I cannot live without say thank to all the St. Lucian authorities that made possible to take to St. Lucia very quickly the Cuban Medical Brigade. I know that a lot of people work here in St. Lucia very intensively. Many of them were, how to say, anonymous, okay? but a lot of people work very intensively of that in the Ministry of Health, in the Ministry of Tourism. And I really personally, I felt very proud to see the Cuban Medical Brigade coming to St. Lucia, but at the same time I felt very proud of the jointly, the work, the jointly collaboration together with the St. Lucian government, with the St. Lucian officials in this common objective. So I want to thank all of them.
His Excellency Simancas Marin, thank you once again so much for sitting in with us. You are watching NTN This Morning, the COVID response. Do stay tuned. We have more coming up next.
Personal risk reduction is important. Germs are everywhere, and you can reduce your risk of infection by practicing some basic infection control measures. Taking the stairs, avoid touching the railing. If taking the elevator, ensure you use hand sanitizer immediately after exiting the elevator. Hand sanitizers with 60% or more alcohol are great to use, so have some readily available on your desk for quick use. Have your own personal bottle to carry with you when away from running water and soap. Germs can spread easily and be anywhere. Be sure to wipe down or disinfect desks, telephones, and keyboards. Washing your hands often will reduce the spread of germs, but you must wash them as recommended. Masks and gloves serve a purpose and provide protection when used in the recommended settings and when used correctly. They are not practical for the office or business place and can lead to the further spread of germs when used badly. Use only if you are coughing and or sneezing or taking care of someone who is ill with flu-like symptoms. For more information, call the Ministry of Health and Wellness at 468-5347, 468-5349, or 468-5350.
Thank you for staying tuned. For those of you just joining us, this is the COVID response, the national COVID response. You are watching NTN from the GIS studios from Point Seraphin. I'm Jessie Leonce, and I'm joined by my colleague Primus Hutchinson. We just spoke to the Cuban ambassador to St. Lucia earlier, His Excellency Alejandro Simancas Marin, and he spoke about the 113 nurses, doctors, bioengineers who are now in St. Lucia to provide support amid this global pandemic. Right now, we want to move to the news segment of our broadcast. The government has tightened restrictions under the Emergency Powers Act to discourage public complacency. In a press conference on Sunday to announce the 5 new confirmed cases of coronavirus in St. Lucia, Prime Minister the Honorable Alan Chasney expressed concern that some members of the public may not yet understand the gravity of the COVID-19 situation. We have a report from Janelle Norville.
The confirmed case of a 74-year-old female with no travel history or known contact with an individual with travel history, according to Chief Medical Officer in the Department of Health and Wellness, Dr. Sharon Belmar George, points to the existence of local transmission of COVID-19 in St. Lucia. Prime Minister the Honorable Alan Chasney, cognizant of this, and noting that a number of individuals have not been following the required protocols, has implemented new measures.
I have to say to all of us that I don't think that any of us would be surprised when I say to you that we have not done a good job of making sure that we're all doing the right things. I mean, the government has made the resources, has put all of the laws in place, has increased the number of policemen out in the field, but many of us have just refused to adhere. There's still examples of people going to bars. There's still examples of people going in crowds to the beaches. There are many operations that have continued to operate, flaunting what was required by the government. So this afternoon I have to announce that we are going to have to put more stringent regulations in place. So one, we are going to extend the curfew, which was from 11 to 5 o'clock in the morning, 11 o'clock at night to 5 o'clock in the morning. And as of tomorrow, it will be from 8 o'clock in the night until 5 o'clock in the morning. Secondly, that we're going to extend the period of quarantine, which was due to end around April 5th. We're now going to extend it to April 14th. And the third part to this is that we're going to suspend all liquor licenses in the country. And so anyone who is going to be operating a bar or a restaurant other than a drive-through or takeout will be in breach of the law. With me is the Commissioner of Police, and he'll be speaking shortly, but I've asked him to strengthen his staff and also their level of tolerance. And again, I'm appealing to St. Lucians one more time. This is for you. This is for all of us.
Acting Commissioner of Police Milton Daisy said it will not be business as usual.
Police have warned you, and the coming week is not a time for warning. And I'm serious about it. Persons will be arrested. The Prime Minister has assured me that the fines would be put in place as of tomorrow. So persons would be, I am not in a position to say what fine it is. That would come from Cabinet. However, I could assure you that you can be arrested from tomorrow, and there would be at a minimum of 72 hours in. And please note also that a magistrate, the court is not sitting. However, we have access to a magistrate who has the power to extend your stay in the police station. The custody suite that is at Central Police Station is available. I have ordered that it be empty so that persons who were arrested and were in there have been taken to Babono, Masha, and Grosile Police Station just to make that space that is available for persons who fail to comply. I must report that on Friday, that is past Friday at 2 a.m., 2 persons were arrested in Grosile for failing to comply with the curfew. They had been charged and were granted bail. However, I could assure you that in the coming days, it would not be so easy.
The acting commissioner also explained that a number of measures have been taken by the police.
I must also report that one vessel, a boat, had been seized by the Marine Police. I commend them for such action, and that boat is impounded with them. I must also report that the police, we were busy going out there in search of persons that had come in from neighboring Martinique and who had skipped, well, obviously they came in unlawfully and therefore were not in quarantine. We have since brought in some of those individuals into quarantine. And I must inform also that we have put together 2 extraction teams, team made up of 10 individuals, 1 in the north and 1 team in the south. And this team would be working directly with the Ministry of Health in identifying persons and then taking them into quarantine. These officers are fully equipped. They are with their face mask, their body suits, gloves, hand sanitizers. So everything that is to have everything that is necessary to prevent that spread. And these officers, I must also inform you that they are from the SSU department.
Members of the public are urged to abide by the new measures put in place, not only for their safety, but for the safety of all. For the Government Information Service, I am Janelle Norville.
And now we have an update on the coronavirus cases on island. I mentioned earlier, we recorded 5 new confirmed cases over the weekend. We have a report on that.
On Sunday, March 29, 2020, the Ezra Long Laboratory at the Owen King EU Hospital reported a total of 5 new cases of COVID-19. This now brings the total number of cases recorded nationally to 9 cases. Case 1 is a 24-year-old female with travel history to New York. She was quarantined at home and presented at our facility on March 27th. Case 2 is a 45-year-old female with a travel history to New York who presented to our health facility on March 24th. Case 3 is a 47-year-old female with recent travel history to Barbados and Dominica. She presented at the health facility on March 27th. Case 4 is a 36-year-old male who had travel history to Barbados and presented to our health facility on March 27th. Case 5 is a 74-year-old female with no travel history or known contact with an individual with travel history. She presented at our facility on March 27th. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Sharon Belma-George noted that Case 5 points to the existence of local transmission of COVID-19.
Aggressive tracing of the contacts of these cases is currently underway by health teams dispatched to the communities of interest. The Ministry of Health has observed that all of these cases were captured through our community respiratory clinics. This highlights the usefulness and effectiveness of these clinics and streamline COVID cases to care in a timely manner. As of the week of March 23rd, St. Lucia commenced national testing for COVID-19. This reduces our reliance on the Caribbean Public Health Agency for testing. Achieving this national capacity has allowed the review and adapting of our national testing protocol to widen the number of persons being tested, as well as to shorten the period of time within which results are received.
In an effort to better position St. Lucia to respond to COVID-19, the national healthcare system has been adapted to allow for a more robust system. The 311 hotline is now available to provide general information on COVID-19 and access points for care and support. As of Monday, March 30th, the service will be made available for 7 days a week and shall function from 7 a.m. to midnight daily. The Prime Minister of St. Lucia, Honorable Alan Chasney, made an appeal to the public to abide by the measures being put in place.
That Corona does not discriminate. There are as many young people dying from this as there are elderly people. And we can't continue to believe that we're immune from what Corona offers us. And some of us are, but there are many of us who are not. And the only way that we're going to defeat Corona for now is by self-quarantining and by practicing social distancing. Now, the Prime Minister of Singapore put it extremely well this morning when he said the off-ramp to Corona hasn't been found yet. That what we're all attempting to do in the world is to flatten the curve, slow down the introduction of cases in order to allow our very capable and very brave medical staff to treat you.
The Prime Minister also noted that an additional 11 respirators have been purchased to aid in battling the COVID-19 outbreak. Persons with flu-like symptoms can access care at their closest respiratory clinics. The 5 existing respiratory clinics are at the Grozile Polyclinic, the Laclery Wellness Center, the Viewfort Wellness Center, the Denry Hospital, and the Soufriere Hospital. Clinic services are available at the Victoria and St. Jude's hospitals, and this is to be utilized by persons with respiratory issues requiring care outside the normal hours of operations at the clinics within the community. From the Government Information Service, I am Anicia Antoine reporting.
Friday was eventful. On Friday, we had the 113 bioengineers, nurses, doctors coming to St. Lucia from Cuba. And also, St. Lucia, the Victoria Hospital move was complete to the OKEU Hospital. We have a report on that transition. The nurses and doctors, the administrators there, they all celebrated that move on Friday. Take a look.
Well, it's now official, and there was no holding back the elation and emotions of staff as they ended one chapter to begin another. Victoria Hospital has officially transitioned to the OKEU Hospital. Even the Minister for Health could not hold back her sense of relief.
I feel elated. I really feel elated today. I went to Victoria Hospital this morning and, I saw the ambulances coming and going, picking up patients and, back and forth. And it was really, really, refreshing. It was exciting. It was just, I just felt, it's almost like you feel liberated that now we are out of Victoria Hospital and we are into our new hospital, our OKEU.
President of the St. Lucia Nurses Association, Alicia Baptiste, said this move left her nurses with bittersweet emotions.
Because most of us were trained at Victoria Hospital and it is our home for many, many years. So leaving it this morning, for me, it was really, really deja vu. But let me just say, on behalf of our nurses, that this is a move well overdue.
An energetic and highly motivated staff, decked out in their respective team colors, were busily implementing the action plan. They were first blessed, provided with breakfast, and had a rainbow to guide their day.
You have the different teams, you have the transport team, you have the command teams, and then you have the teams who will be actually moving the patients. So we're very happy this morning and we are ready to go.
We are very happy about this move. At long last, we have waited a long time for it and we're going to make it work. It will work and things will improve.
With the suspension of elective surgeries and outpatient clinics, VH had its smallest census of patients, with only 45 patients to be transferred to the OKEUH. The move was successfully coordinated via a command and sequencing center manned at the Victoria Hospital, with a sub-command post at the OKEU Hospital.
This is the command center at the Owen King EU Hospital, and what we do here, we are responsible for ensuring that the patients are received safely and triaged to their appropriate ward and bed. So once the patient has left Victoria Hospital, Sister Octave will get a phone call informing her that the patient's left, and we then inform the wards here and the command post when the patient arrives.
So if there are any issues on ground, it is channeled up to us here in the command center, and if there's need for external support from Ministry of Health or other services or agencies, we also contact them externally to come on board to ensure that move is successful.
We determine which patient goes next.
This sequencing center was managed by Nursing Director Ruth Regis Adesanya, who orchestrated the overall move. She said the move was guided by the international criteria for patient move.
So for the past 2 days, we've been doing assessments of all of the patients to be moved and to determine how we sequence them. What we've done is we've ensured that the hospital, whether it's Victoria Hospital or OKUH, is not overwhelmed. So we're only sending out from one unit only one patient at a time and receiving on any unit one patient at a time.
By 12 noon on the move day, 22 of the 45 patients were already transferred to the OKEU.
It's been going very well. Exactly to plan. I know a lot of persons thought we would be under pressure and look like, we're ready to crumble, and you don't see that at all. So all of the years of planning and training has actually, paid off.
The Owen King EU Hospital has now experienced many firsts, from the first patients in ICU, on the wards and in A&E, the first babies in the special care baby unit, the first surgery, and a proud mother, Daria Peter, gives birth to the OKEU's first bouncing baby boy, Darian Owen Peter. As a mark of respect, nurses lined the hallway at the OKEU to show respect to Sister Ruth Regis Adesanya for her remarkable leadership in planning and executing the successful transitioning effort. Reporting for the Ministry of Health and Wellness, I am Glenn Simon.
Congratulations to the team at the now Owen King EU Hospital. We now switch to news in the private sector. The St. Lucia Distillers joins distilleries around the world in making sanitizer to ease the corona-induced shortage. We have a report of video news release from the company. Take a look.
Hand sanitizers disappeared off supermarket shelves once the coronavirus spread globally, and this created an opportunity for St. Lucia distillers. Within a week, it had created Alcosan.
It is made at 70% alcohol, and that is traditionally a very effective antimicrobial.
The first batch of Alcosan is being donated free to homes for the elderly and local hospitals.
We will be giving a substantial amount of this product as donation to those areas, because obviously they are areas where there are a lot of high-risk individuals, and we want to make sure that they are protected in every way as possible.
Alcosan can be purchased at supermarkets and shops throughout the island in 2 sizes. The smaller bottles were supplied by the Wynwood and Leeward Brewery, who partnered with the distillery on this venture.
They are in 2 sizes. We do have a smaller size, which is a 355 ml bottle, and we also have a larger size for a lot of other larger organizations who need a lot more, in a 1.75 liter bottle.
The production of Alcosan is a temporary response to an urgent national need. It will be produced for as long as there is a demand.
Luckily for us, we have the capabilities to produce a lot more very quickly.
St. Lucia Distillers saw this not as a business opportunity, but as part of its corporate social responsibility.
You will notice the price is extremely reasonable. So this is not a profit-making venture. This is not jumping in. This is part of helping to fight the COVID virus and make sure that if it gets here, we're ready for it.
So the market can be rest assured that there will be a continual supply of this product as long as you need it. And as long as the other products get back in and they're starting off, then we will definitely go back to doing what we do best.
The staff producing the product adhere to all protocols stipulated. Those who can work from home are doing so.
So we've split as much as possible into teams and have one team operating at any one time. We are fortunate to be producing alcohol, so we use alcohol to sanitize. We have a process of sanitizing thoroughly, constantly.
The production of Alcosan is a temporary response to an urgent national need. It will be produced for as long as there is a demand. Production will cease once the traditional suppliers are able to get back on track.
Thank you for watching the NTN channel. We are providing you with updates amid the pandemic, the global pandemic, St. Lucia's response to the coronavirus. Before we take a break, which we're due for, I want to read this press release. St. Lucia Carnival rolls over to 2021. And that is coming from the Government of St. Lucia, Ministry of Tourism, Information and Broadcasting, Culture and Creative Industries. Taking full account of the economic and public health implications associated with the spread and containment of COVID-19, the Government of St. Lucia held several consultations with representatives of the Carnival community regarding the best possible strategy for Carnival 2020. In so doing, the government sought a broad consensus which would serve the best interests of the festival's presenters, promoters, participants, producers, and partners. It was generally agreed that the global environment was still highly unpredictable and that nothing should be done which would compromise local efforts at containment. Among the issues shaping the discussions are international travel restrictions, competing regional events, reduced disposable income of patrons, availability of government funding for Carnival 2020, availability of sponsorship support, preservation of brand and product standing, and Carnival stakeholder responsibilities. Considering these issues, the Government of St. Lucia, while recognizing the cultural and economic importance of the festival, has decided that it would be in the best national interest of St. Lucia if the Carnival 2020 is postponed to July 2021. Do stay tuned. You are watching NTN Live. We have more news coming up after the break.
Wash them before eating or handling food or caring for infants, sick or elderly people. Wash your hands. Wash them after. Using the toilet, touching raw meat, handling pets and livestock, playing outdoors, cleaning or handling waste and garbage. Wash your hands. Wash them often. You are going right when you make a habit of washing your hands several times a day.
This message brought to you courtesy the Bureau of Health Education of the Ministry of Ministry of Health and Wellness. 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 Ministry of
Welcome back. You are watching the COVID response, St. Lucia's response to the coronavirus, which is now reached to pandemic levels globally. My name is Jessie Leonce. If you're just joining us, a special welcome to you. We continue this morning's news with an assurance from Peter & Company Limited that it will continue its distribution services despite the partial scale down of services here in St. Lucia. We have a report.
Chief Executive Officer of Peter & Company Distribution, Michelle Kalu, has given their customers the assurance that the warehouse, sales vans and delivery trucks which service shops, minimats and other accounts throughout the country will remain operational as part of essential services, keeping the country supplied with critical products such as milk, baby formula, diapers, OTC drugs, canned foods, cleaning and personal care products.
We are going to ensure that the supply chain continues to run, especially when it comes to food and beverage, and we want to give our commitment to the community and to the nation that we are going to be there. Our vans, 22 of them, are going to be operating. Everybody is going to be up and running just so long as we can continue.
Although the sales and distribution center is under lockdown, the company is promising St. Lucians that all is being done to ensure that its supply chain remains open.
Social distancing and engaging in the best hygiene practices we can is the only defense that we have right now against the spread of COVID-19. So we are on lockdown, and in fact most of our employees will start working from home with the exception of our warehouse and distribution staff, who of course have to continue going out onto the streets, roads, shops, parlors and supermarkets throughout the country.
The CEO went on to give further assurance that every customer will have access to available goods as unusually large bulk orders will not be permitted. Instead, decisions will be made on historical sales averages.
So in the first instance, we've actually had our customers, we've had meetings with them, we've had communication go out to them. It's really important at a time like this that we communicate as much as we can to let them know what steps we have taken and what steps we will continue to take to ensure that they continue to get goods.
As this situation continues to evolve, there may be concerns of unethical practices such as price gouging. When questioned, Ms. Kalu had this to say.
We've taken a really firm stance on price gouging. We actually are asking our customers to report it if they see other customers or third-party resellers engaging in that. As it pertains to this situation on the ground with COVID-19, we have taken a very firm stance on price gouging. We will not be engaging in it and we will not be tolerating it.
That was Chief Executive Officer of Peter & Company Distribution, Michelle Kalu. From the Government Information Service, I am Anicia Antoine reporting.
And I now hand over to my colleague Primus Hutchinson, who will deliver the Creole segment of our newscast this morning.
Thank you so much, Jessie. Monsieur Tam, Monsieur Madame. Ça c'est pour nous présenter et puis nouvelle à Creole, nouvelle spéciale, particulièrement qui nous fait puis situation maladie corona, COVID-19. Premier ministre ici, honorable Alain Chasney, j'ai décidé associer j'ai pris une démarche pour faire assurer que cette lycée protéger Koyo et les autres contre maladie corona, ça c'est COVID-19. Durant adresse pour nation GIS NTN dimanche après-midi le 29 mars, Premier ministre Chasney a annoncé qu'il y a plus fort démarche pour aider à régler la situation maladie corona pour empêcher ici mais un pays cette lycée. Selon le Premier ministre là, le gouvernement a commencé pour ces démarches nécessaires. L'objectif là c'était pour mettre possibilité maladie pour pas ici mais pour mettre en retard pour empêcher ici mais enfin particulièrement à ces diverses communes pays ça c'est pour si a été commencé ici mais cette liste a une capacité pour ménager. Premier ministre Chasney a déclaré que 2 mois qui passent pays a pas une capacité en pièce façon pour adresser cette situation là. La partie assez l'air à l'hôpital Victoria et pour raison ça le gouvernement a pris une décision pour servir l'hôpital Owen King. Action ça là pour sortir l'hôpital Victoria pour Owen King c'était un succès. Ça a fait vendredi et à présent selon le Premier ministre là préparation déjà en place pour servir l'hôpital Victoria comme une institution pour tout le monde qui a souffert puis problème de l'exploration. Premier ministre Chasney a ajouté qu'il y a 3 hôtels pour cas monde qui est en quarantaine parce que le gouvernement a découvert bien bon qui monde qui était en quarantaine pas qu'à obéir ouais qui a place pour yo place qui en loin yo te des work arrivé tout partout et pour ça là gouvernement prend décision pour faire assurer que tout le monde qui a tué à cette ici sorti l'autre pays qui a ni pour entrer en quarantaine à bas direction. Bien vitement premier ministre là dit yo jani 300 chambres hôtel qui ni moun alors décision à présent c'est pour pas quitter personne en tout cette ici parce qu'il peut y a pas ni capacité pour tuer personne encore mais parce que ça moun ka continuer pour désobéir ouais qui a place avec ces ressources qui police secteur santé ni pour faire assurer que ça a bas contrôle qu'a posé un mauvais pèse à ce système pays cette ici ouais ça là premier ministre honorable Alain Chasney j'ai décidé pour placer encore plus force de contrôle pour faire assurer qu'il y a une protection pour santé publique cette ici. Là, déjà une décision pour le ministre Chasney dit pour placer cette ici à bas curfew et pour réduire à société activité qui est pour ni en business avec la situation sociale et qui apparaît que ça pas qu'à travailler comme doit être parce que c'est loi et ressources que le gouvernement établi pour résoudre ça là un peu le monde refusé suivre. Là, les gens qui ont cabaret toujours, qui ont un bon temps au bord de la mer, qui ont continué à combler en public. Alors, pour ça, là, c'est le Premier ministre Chasney, et j'avais nécessaire pour placer un plus fort bruit à ce des libertés qui peuvent planer. Premièrement, le gouvernement a ajouté à ce curfew pour réduire à ce service qui pas nécessaire. Et commencer lundi, les 30, ça c'est lundi passé, en mois de mars, curfew a allongé sorti depuis 8 heures soir pour juste 5 heures demain bon matin. Deuxième, quarantaine qui a allongé sorti le 5 avril pour le 14 avril. Et troisièmement, le gouvernement a mis en bout toute opération en place qui vend alcool. Alors, personne qui a pris un restaurant, à part de côté, il y a monde ça conduit, il y a l'auto, et amassé, ça est baisé. Les stations, toute insurrection. Présentement, ça a trouvé, ça a une offense pour continuer à faire ça, mais au point cabaret, afin comme ça contre la police qui peut action contre. Police a augmenté l'opération, a baissé à sous degré de tolérance, alors qui concerne pour regarder, afin police a baissé à ça, alors il n'y a pas de chasse qu'après chasse encore pour qu'à 10 personnes pas faire ci, pas faire ça. C'est pour ça pour faire. Le Premier ministre Chasney conseille cette lycéen pour prendre en considération ce qui a fait en pays Italie. Alors, j'ai plaidé et puis cette lycéen pour prendre responsabilité sérieux pour protection même avec la famille. Alors, trois points, messieurs et mesdames, Fenel Neptune, ça c'est officier Fenel Neptune qui est officier de communication en département de santé, qui a parlé à cette situation qui démarche qui n'est pas prêt à la situation. Nous allons prendre un petit pause à présent, là nous venons, nous allons prendre un ça là.
It's power bike time!
Hey, you need to cover your mouth. Don't you know about the coronavirus?
It's not a joke, it's a serious thing.
True that. What's coronavirus anyway?
The coronavirus is a group of viruses that causes the common cold. In more severe cases, it's like the flu.
Really? So are you saying that this is not a new virus?
No, it isn't new. It's a new strain. That's why some people say novel coronavirus. Yes, look at it like a family who just had a new baby.
I get it now. So how is it spread?
Through the air, like coughing and sneezing, touching objects, surfaces with the virus on it, touching your face, your eyes, your nose, your mouth, before washing your hands with running water and soap.
Sounds like someone has the flu or the cold. Are the symptoms the same?
The symptoms are fever, coughing, sneezing, headaches, just like the flu. In some severe cases, you also have breathing difficulties and chest pains. Some persons also get pneumonia and kidney failure. And as you have heard the news, some people have died.
Wow. So how do I protect myself?
We have always been told to wash our hands with running water and soap. In the event there is no running water and soap, you use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer of at least 70% alcohol. Try your best to avoid touching your eyes, your nose, and your mouth. And in the event you need to sneeze and cough into a tissue, you throw the tissue into a bin. If you do not have tissue and you need to sneeze or cough, you do it into your elbow.
Yes, I heard that. So what medications can we take?
Well, as the virus is new, there is no medication or vaccine that you could really take to prevent it. What we really have to do is to practice infection control measures to protect ourselves.
Hey, people, I need to get a sweat. Let's get moving.
Let's do it, guys.
So, wait, how do I get more information?
Good, I have that number on lockpad. For further information, contact the Bureau of Health Education at 468-5349, 468-5347, or 468-5342.
Let's defy limits! Woo! Come on!
Bienvenue encore sur programme Lucia face au public qui a adressé la situation maladie COVID-19, ça c'est Corona, et collègue moi Jesse Leos qui a fait tellement bien là. Moi je voulais faire une apologie rapport c'est un qui m'a préparé et qui a présenté qui ni pour faire puis premier ministre situation des chef officier médical chef police là à cette situation COVID-19 à cette lycée à notre nous à ça là présent. Le 39 mois de mars, laboratoire Ezra Long à l'hôpital Owen King by rapport qui cette lycée à présent en total de 5 cas COVID-19. Et ça a aussi les gens qui ont souffert et puis malade ça là cette lycée. Officier de communication département santé Fenel Neptune TAP chef officier médical Dr. Sharon Belma George et chef police Milton Daisy Premier ministre honorable Alan Chasney dimanche le 29 pour adresser nation concernant le développement nouveau des maladies salaires. Fondel a expliqué plus du développement nouveau salaire.
Adressé 5 cases 9 là, première c'est une femme qui 24 l'année de l'âge et ni l'histoire voyage hors New York. Femme ça aussi était en quarantaine la Kylie. Vendredi, le 27 mars, il était visité à facilité santé côté yo fait l'examen pour COVID-19. Deuxième cas là, c'est une femme qui 45 l'année de l'âge et ni l'histoire voyage de New York. Mardi le 24 mars, madame là était visité à facilité santé côté yo fait l'examen pour COVID-19. Troisième cas là, c'est une madame qui 47 l'année de l'âge et ni l'histoire voyage de Barbade et Dominique. Vendredi le 27 mars, madame là te visité à facilité santé côté yo fait l'examen pour COVID-19. Quatrième cas là, c'est un homme qui 36 l'année de l'âge et ni l'histoire voyage de Barbade. Vendredi le 27 mars, l'homme là te visité à facilité santé côté yo fait l'examen pour COVID-19. Cinquième cas là, c'est une madame qui 74 l'année de l'âge et pas ni pièce l'histoire voyage. Et ben passé temps et personne qui ni l'histoire voyage. Vendredi le 27 mars, madame là te visité à facilité santé côté yo fait l'examen pour COVID-19.
Selon le rapport Fenel, tous ces cas qui étaient sortis, ils étaient sortis hors de ces cliniques qui ont regardé des gens qui ont souffert et puis problème de l'expiration.
Nous aussi, ces cliniques là très bon, qui ont aidé pour découvrir cas de COVID-19 et pour bailler cas yo mérité. À la situation de cas cinquième là, côté madame là, pas ni pièce l'histoire voyage. Département pour santé, qui considère sa situation de local transmission pour maladie COVID-19 en cette lycée. Département pour santé, j'en travaillé hors team yo en ces communes là, côté ces caisses là, pour faire si yo joindre tout le monde qui teni sa yo ka kouye contact et puis pièce ces caisses là. commencé lundi 23 mars, cette liste commencé faire l'examination pour maladie COVID-19 au pays.
Officier de communication en département santé, Fenel Neptune. Ok, merci autant. Ça c'était un rapport concernant la situation développement nouveau qui nous peut faire puis maladie COVID-19 contre Fenel Neptune qui est communication officier de communication du département de santé qui a un rapport à ce développement nouveau. Et que ça c'est le point vieux présenté Madame Jessie Leos qui va nous donner tout mon parole avant nous dit au plaisir pour aujourd'hui là.
Thank you, Mr. Hutchinson. Well, that is all the time we have for now. Do stay tuned. The broadcast does continue on NTN at the GIS studios. Later on, we have at 10 a.m. Miss Judy de Turville, who will be presenting the mid-morning show. We continue the COVID response, St. Lucia's COVID-19 response, and we want you to stay tuned to this station for all the facts surrounding everything that is developing around coronavirus here in St. Lucia. We want to thank you for tuning in. Do stay tuned for more and follow us on social media so you'll always know when we upload new videos, when we go live, to provide you with the latest information with regard to this ongoing pandemic. The government has enforced tighter restrictions to contain the spread of the coronavirus. Also, as a number of new confirmed cases on island have climbed to 9 over the weekend, we encourage you to stay indoors, adhere to these tighter restrictions, adhere to the orders made by the powers of the emergency status. We'd like to thank you for watching. Do stay safe. I'm Jessie Leon signing off for now. Goodbye.